Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are tracking an absolute marvel, your child's fine motor skills. We're going to follow this incredible journey from those adorably clumsy little baby swipes all the way to a school-aged kid drawing complex 3D cubes. So let's dive right in. If you've ever watched a baby just stare at their own hands in total wonder, you know there is some serious magic happening there. It feels like they grow up in the blink of an eye, doesn't it? Literally, one day they're swiping at a crib mobile, and the next they're building a fortress in your living room. We're going to treat your baby's development like the ultimate adventure today, unlocking these thrilling new levels of grasping, building, and drawing as they grow. Seriously, every milestone is like a brand new superpower unlocked.
Okay, level 1 starts in infancy. This is where your baby's hands first wake up to the physical world over their first 12 months. We'll look at the bidextrous reach at 4 months, unidextrous at 6, the immature pincer grasp at 9, and the mature pincer grasp at 12 months.
Just look at the massive leap in brain development happening in a mere 2-month span. At 4 months, they're using a two-handed or bidextrous reach to kind of awkwardly corral things toward them. But by 6 months, they level up to a unidextrous, one-handed reach. And even cooler, at 6 months, they figure out how to transfer objects seamlessly from one hand to the other. They are literally learning to cross the midline of their bodies, which, developmentally speaking, is a massive neurological triumph. So as we get closer to the end of year 1, these gross motor movements refine into something incredibly delicate. Around 9 months, they start aggressively probing the world with their forefinger. This helps them develop an immature pincer grasp. They're trying to pinch things, but it's, still a little clunky. But keep an eye out, because that completely matures right at their first birthday. At 12 months, that mature pincer grasp means they can neatly pinch a tiny object, right between the tips of their thumb and index finger. Yep, this is exactly when picking up individual Cheerios off the high chair tray becomes their absolute favorite game. Moving right along, we hit the toddler phase, where those newly refined grasps turn into absolute building power. We'll see 2 blocks at 15 months, 3 blocks at 18 months, a 6-block tower and a train at 2 years, and a train with a chimney at 2.5. It is so fun to watch how fast their stacking skills multiply. They go from this modest, super carefully balanced 2-block tower at 15 months to adding another block to make it 3 at 18 months. And then, by their 3rd birthday, boom, an impressive 9-block tower. Their hand-eye coordination and their grasp of physical balance are just absolutely skyrocketing right here. But hey, they aren't just builders, right? They're becoming little artists, too. In tandem with the building, their drawing unlocks step by step. At 15 months, they'll imitate you if you scribble on a page. By 18 months, they take full charge and scribble completely independently. And right at that 2-year mark, when they're stacking those tall block towers, they also master vertical and circular strokes on paper. It's just a total explosion of intentional motor control. And this new control translates brilliantly back to their playtime. At 2 years old, instead of just stacking straight up, they realize they can line blocks up horizontally to make a train. Honestly, it takes a totally different type of spatial awareness to build sideways. Then, by 2.5 years, they synthesize both of these skills. They make the horizontal train and pop a block right on top for a chimney. It's so cool. As we enter the preschool years, from 3 to 5, that somewhat chaotic toddler energy transforms into intentional architecture and recognizable geometry. We're looking at 9 blocks and a circle at 3, a bridge and a cross at 4, and a gate and a triangle at 5. The shift across these years is just amazing to witness. At 3 years old, they're stacking that dizzying 9-block tower and successfully copying a circle. At 4, they engineer a bridge with their blocks. This means they're leaving empty space underneath, which is a huge conceptual leap. Plus, they can copy a cross. Finally, at 5, they craft a complex block gate and can draw a triangle, which introduces diagonal lines into their repertoire for the very first time. Now, development doesn't only happen right on a birthday, right? Tucked right between 4 and 5 years, at precisely 4.5, they unlock a brand new geometric shape, the solid rectangle. It sits so beautifully on the timeline right between the perpendicular lines of the 4-year-old's cross and the diagonal precision of the 5-year-old's triangle. Finally, we hit school-age refinement. From age 6 all the way to 11, those tiny hands become instruments of absolute precision. We'll see block steps at 6, a diamond at 7, a blocky cross at 8, a cylinder at 9, and a cube at 11. So at 6 years old, they take their block-building engineering to a whole new level by constructing structurally steps. This isn't just a tower or a simple bridge anymore. It requires planning ahead, understanding proportion, and carefully counterbalancing multiple stacks of varying heights. It is true architectural thinking in action.
And their drawing skills make an equally incredible leap. At 6, they draw a complex rectangle with intersecting diagonal lines. At 7, they master the tricky angles of the diamond. At 8, a complex blocky cross shape. And then, the ultimate leap. They unlock full 3D drawing. They master the curves of a 3D cylinder at 9 and the beautiful multi-angle depth of a 3D cube at 11. It's simply breathtaking how far they've come from those clumsy 4-month-old swipes, isn't it?
Now, as we marvel at all this, I do want to leave you with a quick, gentle reminder. These milestones are a fantastic roadmap to track how they're leveling up, but every single child tackles these challenges at their own unique speed. Some might build bridges a little early, while others might perfect their triangles a bit later. The real beauty is just in the unfolding process itself.
They've conquered the physical blocks. They've mastered the complex 3D geometry of drawing. So I'll leave you with this exciting thought. Equipped with these perfectly capable, finely tuned hands, what incredible, totally unique things will their imagination build next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep encouraging those tiny hands, keep cheering on those messy scribbles, and I'll catch you next time.